Well, excuse me, thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to come and talk to these amazing women in our community. What I want to actually do today is share with you a little bit about my Air Force career and how that transitioned into my life now, and then just some tips on deciding different things that you choose to get involved in that ultimately help our community as a whole. I'm from a very, very small town in Montana where there was absolutely nothing more cattle than people. There weren't even hardly any trees there. So I decided at a very young age that I was going to get out there as soon as possible. And I had the wonderful mentorship and leadership of my brother that joined the Air Force before me. And he was my first role model. I really didn't have a clue what I was doing when I first joined the Air Force. I just thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel the world, I'm going to get my education, and I'm just going to have this amazing experience. I'm going to stay in for 30 years. Well, that didn't quite go that way, which everything has a purpose and a reason for happening. In the Air Force, they really lead you into understanding what you need to do to be successful. And whether or not you choose to take those steps will determine your success. It took me probably about 9 or 10 years before I finally figured it out. And the thing that clicked for me when I started to figure it out was actually the birth of my daughter, Jerica. Because I thought, okay, I need to pull my stuff together a little bit more, start implementing the things that I know that I'm supposed to do to be successful. And it was a long journey, but I had a very successful career. So I just want to share with you a couple of those things. I look back through my military records. They have what's called an evaluation report. And at each year you have to have this. And man, they come up with some great words. I was like, ooh, I am fabulous. Well, really, what it did when I was looking through these today, it really made me miss my Air Force career. When I chose to retire, it was because of family. It was time my husband and I were apart for about 5 years. I was in San Antonio, Texas, and my husband was in Virginia. He could not get to Texas. So it came with a deployment to Iraq and a lot of talking, and it was finally acceptable to me that, okay, it seems like a simple decision to put your family in front of your career, but it was hard because I loved what I did. And I felt like I was making a difference to the women, the younger women in the military, and I wanted to be that leader and mentor to them. When I chose my family finally, which is the right thing to do, I then changed my focus to focusing on mentoring and leading my daughters and hopefully setting the right example for them. So when I look through my different military records, you really have to plan out your success. And to get promoted to advance in the military, you really have to start several years before. So we're talking about a 5 or a 10-year plan, which is kind of crazy. But it's doing a lot of things consistently over that time period, forcing yourself to find new ways to get involved, to make a difference, and of course doing an excellent job in your profession as well. I kind of saw a rhythm of things. I had led a sports day of 20 members, 9 committees, 97 volunteers, 662 participants. I was a top 3 executive member. I led a fundraiser, hosted Girl Scout Awards, Meals on Wheels. Volunteer Spirit prepared dinner, provided fellowship for 16 families of wounded military at Fisher House in San Antonio. Organized the Air Force Personnel Center Top 3 Cowboy Breakfast, raised $640, continually planning AIDS future fundraising events. Community-minded, worked with the local chapter of Habitat for Humanity, September 11th, Freedomville. Spearheaded a top 3 fundraiser, raised over $1,700, handpicked to MC the 2004 MSS Mission Sports Squadron Annual Awards. Nursing home visits. Winner of the Air Force Level Outstanding Personal Manager of the Year Base Level Technician category. The reason I wanted to read some of those off to you was that it was important to get involved, but it's important to get involved the right way. What matters to you, and where are you at in your life? Where are you at professionally? Where are you at personally? Some of the things that I did to get involved were really centered around my daughters as well. My profession and my daughters, based on their age, because I wanted them to see the importance of getting involved. I wanted them to see the importance of giving back and things that they enjoyed. We used to take dogs for walks from the local shelter because it was something that they could do and very simple for us to do together. Now here, Parker Paws is an organization that we support, and the reason for that is because, again, I can get my entire family involved, and fits into our lifestyle. There are so many great causes that you don't always have the funds to give, and your time is limited as well. So you find the things that are best fit for you, your family, and what you want to represent. The reason that I had read the last thing of winner of an Air Force Level Outstanding Personnel Manager of the Year was because of all of those efforts making me a whole person, showing that yes, I can do a great job, but I also see the importance of giving to others and supporting organizations that matter. So the Air Force really looked at what we call the whole person concept. Translating that into my civilian life, and Peggy can probably attest to this, we joke about this, I was lost when I got here. I was alone. I spent 6 months, I spent 21 years in the Air Force, I spent 6 months in Iraq. My husband and I had been apart for about 5 years when I moved here. Now all of a sudden, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have a career, didn't know what to do, and I was a wife and mom to a husband, that I hadn't been with forever. Y'all know just a weekend away with your husband is transition. And I thought, okay, put on your big girl panties, right? What are you going to do now? And in my mind, I had to transition from my military world, which is all that I knew as an adult, into Weatherford. So I changed Weatherford to my base, my Air Force base. I changed the ambassadors, the Weatherford ambassadors, to my top 3. And the top 3 were elite. I felt that the ambassadors were an elite group. Then I started looking at organizations that I could get involved with. Where is my heart? What skills do I have that I can potentially help others? The first place that I went to was the Center of Hope. The reason I went to Center of Hope is because in the Air Force, they actually have an organization that you can always refer people to no matter what problem, and then they'll outsource and get you where you need to get the help that you are looking for. And that's immediately what I thought of Center of Hope. And I volunteered at Jobs for Life. Now, when I tell you that I was lost and alone and my entire adult life was military, I have never been around civilians before. Because when you're in the military, your friends are military, spouses are military, it's just military. And so I didn't really understand some of the challenges and some of the valleys that people are in. And when I went and volunteered at Center of Hope, I had never been around people that were in the valleys that they were experiencing. I have a very positive thought process when I talk with people. If you tell me you're going to do something or you want to do something, I believe that you can do it. And a lot of these people were there because they believed that they wanted to make a change. So as I listened to them, I thought I was encouraging them and giving direction. Well, I was told that I was being a bully to them, that I wasn't understanding them, And unfortunately, based on where I was at as I moved here, it was way too soon for me to help them in a way that they needed to be helped. So the Jobs for Life was not a fit for me. And for a while, Center of Hope was not as well. So then I started thinking, okay, well, how else can I get involved? Started volunteering at the chamber for a year and a half. A good way to kind of get to meet people.
Learn to dress.
Yes. I did not know how to dress because all I had was uniforms, and then after work you just put on something comfortable. So I volunteered at the chamber, and I was actually in a direct sales company when I first decided to start a business here in Weatherford. Great business thought process there. Direct sales in a place you know nobody and you have no friends. Let's go and sell them something. But it was a wonderful decision because I wanted to take my business very seriously, and I joined the chamber as a business owner with my AdvoCare business. And Peggy, of course, the angel and saint that she is, really helped me get into the community and meet people that I really didn't, obviously I didn't know anything about them, their stature, their level of professionalism, their anything. Where a lot of people that are in this community, you know, oh yes, you need to know them because of XYZ, or you need to get involved with this because of whatever. So I knew nothing. I just had that, I really have this connection with this person, and so I kind of developed relationships along that path. So the top three, my transition, again, translation was the ambassador program. And I remember that when I was called and said, oh, you've been selected as an ambassador, I'm like, how did that happen? I had no clue the process or anything, but I was just wanting to be part of welcoming new businesses into Weatherford because I understood the importance for me of what the chamber meant. It's something that you should do, something that if you're a business owner, you need to be part of. That's pretty much it. From there, some other opportunities of volunteering that came was Zonta. I visited one time, Peggy invited me, and what you guys read today was the reason that I wanted to be part of Zonta, because you want to help others. Women specifically, and I remember talking to Peggy and telling her, I have a passion to help other women. Because again, there were very few women in the military, and that was something that I had felt that I was missing out on, was that opportunity to mentor and lead the young women that were coming up in the military. So I thought this was a great fit for me, that this was an organization that wanted to give back and help improve the status of women. How awesome is that? So believe it or not, Zonta was a saving grace for me. Some of the other things that I got involved with were networking and more on the professional side. And then on the giving side, the East Parker County Chamber had a nonprofit showcase. They had a women's business alliance and networking group. So I'm like, again, okay, this is something I want to be part of. And at their nonprofit showcase, there were all these amazing nonprofits that spoke. And as I'm sure you probably have that heart as well, gosh, I want to help them. I want to give for them. I want to give time to them. What do you need? And all of them sounded amazing and something that I wanted to help with. But of course, you don't have the time, the finances, or the availability to help all of those causes at once. So I thought, okay, what can I give? And why do I want to be part of that? Charity Foundation was an organization that I chose to connect with. And I want to tell you why, and you might be a little surprised. I did not have any close friends that had breast cancer. I did not have any family members that had breast cancer. I had no personal connection to what their cause was. But the reason that I chose to get involved with them initially was because of who they were. That they were people in our community that were making a difference. I wanted to help them make a difference. So again, choosing why you decide to be part of a different organization is so important. What can you give that will help be part of that? This morning, I was at sports therapy, And my therapist asked, so what are you doing today? And I said, well, I get the privilege of talking to this amazing group of women called Zonta. And he's like, well, what are you going to talk about? And I said, well, just about community and the smart way to get involved for yourself and how you can help others. And he's like, well, how do you do that? And so people come to me and say, hey, I want to get involved. The first thing I don't start off by saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. The first question I ask is why? Why do you want to get involved? What is it that you want to accomplish? And so I asked him, well, what is it that you want to get involved for in something? And then I started to ask him some personal questions. Okay, so you're in sports therapy. Well, do you like a particular sport? He said baseball. I said, okay, well, where do you live? So he shared where he lived. Well, do you prefer to work with children, high schoolers, or adults? And so you really kind of go through this process of elimination of where it is that you have talents, knowledge, experience, and passion, and that you can put your time and your efforts into helping this cause. So he ended up helping a youth league, and oh man, and I just had a brain loss for a moment. And I also pointed out to him about him helping for this cause, which is what was part of bringing me success in my military career, was that there is some sort of benefit in addition to helping others, but also in your professional career. So by giving, you receive. And I wanted to read a couple of statements to you that I'm one of those thinkers. I love to expand my knowledge, and I thought this was a great quote. It says, expand your knowledge by always expanding your community. What can you do for your community? Volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once a year, but when you volunteer, you vote every day about the community that you live in. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. And my favorite, you have two hands. One to help yourself, and the second to help others. So I really appreciate, again, this opportunity to just share a little bit about insights to my military career, how my volunteer efforts led to that success, the transition of creating Weatherford into my own little base, and volunteering and giving back to the community here, setting the example that I wanted to for my daughters and hopefully for others, and then in the success that it can bring you, not just personally, but professionally. In 2012, we moved here in 2009, and in 2012, because of the efforts that I had done, had allowed me to win the East Parker County Chamber Businesswoman of the Year. So your volunteer efforts make a difference in your community to you, both personally and professionally. So I appreciate Zonta. I appreciate that you guys were a lifeblood to me, giving me life again and a purpose, and a life that I did not know how to be me in. And thank you very much for your time today.
Lisa, and we would just welcome you back with open arms. We have applications on the table up front, and your daughters also are welcome to join. That would be awesome. And Tammy, yes. Because we have some other daughters here already that have been members for eons since I was here. Let's see. New business. The committee chairs, and if you're not sure if you're on a committee, when we had our planning meeting, we had several people sign up to be on different committees. I had sent out an email to